Good afternoon, welcome to day 1368. Today has been a day of doing all of the shit that I've been putting off doing for quite a while. To start out with, I came out here and we did a ton of weeding. That bed over here on the other side of the sunroom was nothing but weeds 6 weeks ago. Then I went crazy for about 10 days in a row. Got about 3/4 of it done, and then I got ridiculous poison ivy, so I stopped, and then it's been too hot and I've been busy with other stuff. So I came out here today, put another 4 or 5 hours in, and it's finished. It still looks like hell. Everything's overgrown. It needs to be de-leafed and mulched and, you know, trimmed back, everything that's here, but the weeds are gone. That's now dirt, mulch, and dead leaves that are coming out of this tree already. So that got done. Then all of the pine trees, there's 6 of these big white pines or whatever they are on the property, and they've all been dropping needles and turning brown. So I got this big thing of 7, which is a peasant killer. No, what do you call it? A pest killer, not a peasant killer. And I sprayed the hell out of those with a hose, hooked the hose up to it, and there's 3 more over here, and I did those. So I really hope that helps. Then I went for a drive in the 3 Series, and that noise that I have is 5 times as bad. I'm going to show you what I think the problem is. So I only went about 3 miles, but on the way home it got really bad. I would hit the brakes and it felt like the anti-locks were coming on. I mean, it really felt like the rotor was going to fall off or something. So I came home, jacked it up, put it on stands, took this wheel off. Check this out. This is caliper here. That is not a good thing. The bolt on the bottom is missing. The bolt on the top is incredibly loose. What the hell? That is not good at all. That's not safe. That is not safe. So, when I first started hearing this noise, I got under there. I visually inspected everything. I would say a 9 out of 10. Looks like it's a 2 out of 10, apparently. BMW looked at it. A certified BMW dealership had this car for 3 hours. NTB had this car for 2 hours. I wouldn't be as surprised if NTB missed that. I can't believe I missed that, let alone NTB, let alone BMW. So if that's truly the problem, that'll be a $2 fix of buying a bolt and tightening it up. Now, I don't know if it somehow got loosened and fell out because of another problem, but I would really like that to be the problem. So I'm going to tighten the shit out of that top bolt so it stays on there, and I will order that bottom bolt tonight, or maybe I'll wait till tomorrow and I'll call my parts guy at Dave Walter and see if they have one. I would guess they would keep stuff like that in stock just because it's super important. They probably do a lot of brake pad changing there. They find bolts that are cracked or just too rusty that they don't want to put back in. I would imagine that they have something like that in stock. And they're probably a pretty generic bolt for every single 3 Series. It might be the same as the E39, it might even be the same as the E90, or even up to present day F30 3 Series. So, you know, I'll be able to get that in there earliest tomorrow. Even if they have to order it, they'd have it by Wednesday. And it's supposed to be a decent week this week, so I won't need to drive this car more than from here, back down the driveway, and up into the spot until hopefully I can get that bolt. If it does rain and I tighten the crap out of that top bolt, I will drive it to Kent. I've driven it 300, 400, 500 miles with that noise, and tightening it up might even kind of make it disappear for a little bit, but I'm certainly not taking any road trips very far from home until I get a bolt in there. That's not good news. I'm going to tighten the hell out of it and see if that'll hold it in place. Obviously not very well, but it should hold it in place. And I'm almost seeing, that looks like it's machined. See that on the rotor right there? Better in sunlight, I guess. On the inside lip of the rotor, that looks like it's a machined divot. I don't know if that could even rotate up so far to hit it, but like, I put these rotors on myself, and if I genuinely didn't tighten those bolts down, I question my ability as a DIY mechanic. That is ridiculous. I check everything so carefully before I put the wheel back down and put it on the ground. I check torque twice. And I suppose it's possible that I got in so much of a hurry that I didn't do that, but I truly am careful with that. So I don't know. There's a lot of things gone wrong on multiple people's parts. A lot of people screwed up with this, but I'm primary here. That's embarrassing. It's quiet. I tightened that bolt down probably beyond spec on top. I'm gonna hit this bump right here. It's quiet. That was it. Oh my God. I am totally embarrassed and in many ways ashamed of myself for one, not reinstalling that correctly. I mean, if you can't do that, you shouldn't be doing brakes. And two, going weeks without diagnosing that correctly. And I'm not gonna blame anybody else but myself, but come on, somebody else should have seen that if I'm too stupid. I paid a dealership $140 and they had 3 hours. Whatever, it's quiet. So, I guess that's it. I gotta get a bolt in there ASAP though. So, talk to you later. All right, problem 2. Look on the wheel. See that? I wish you could smell it. With only one bolt in there and that being tight, as you hit the brakes, it's pushing the caliper out into the wheel, which is then so much force that it's locking up the wheel. It's a good thing these wheels are not something I am too concerned about. All right, officially not driving this car, period, until that bolt's installed. It just isn't safe. I cannot have the caliper going out and hitting into the wheel. Why it wasn't doing that for the last 500 miles, I don't know. Maybe it's because it was loose enough it would fall down and be where it's supposed to be, but it was locking the wheel up into the driveway. So, all right, yeah, that's done. I'm gonna take that wheel back off, and I obviously can't have that bolt too tight up there, so I'll actually have to loosen it so I can pull it up 20 feet into that corner and let it sit until I get a fresh bolt for the top part of it. But I think, at least going up the street before I hit the brakes, it was quiet, so I'm gonna assume, or at least really hope, that that will fix all my issues when I tighten that second bolt in there. All right, so here's what happened. Top bolt's nice and tight. Check out the bottom. Oh, you can't see as well as I can. Kind of. See how the bottom of the caliper is towards the back of the car, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch too far? That top bolt's tight, so I guess braking has that effect on it. I can kind of hit it in with my palm. I'll take a mallet to it and smack it in just so I can drive it back. But that rotated out and hit the wheel right here. I don't really care about the wheel. The wheel's fine. It's just dinged up. And there's where it touched the caliper. That's fine too. It just took some of the paint off. But that's not good. So it's grounded now until I get a bolt. All right, so did a bunch of math homework today. Several assignments out of the way for the week, so that's good. Still a few remaining due Tuesday and due Thursday this week. Just got through the emails, got the watch later place down to about an hour. Watched season 2, episode 1 of House of Cards. That's getting very good. I'm surprised it's a original Netflix series. It's really good. Same goes for Orange is the New Black, and unfortunately we're not going to see a new season of Orange is the New Black season 3 until next June. That's a long way away. And I haven't done too much research on when season 3 of House of Cards is expected, because I just started 2, so I should have at least 2 weeks or more with that, depending on how much free time I have to sit down and watch TV for 45 minutes. So it's 1:10. As I said before, I did a bunch of stuff today that I've been putting off and that's needed to be done. I almost debated putting the sprinklers away, but I didn't, because I had just used the hoses, so they're full of water. And I probably won't be using it anymore. Some summers I feel like I water 4 days a week for 2 months. This summer I think I watered 2 or 3 days in a row in July sometime, or June maybe. Probably June. July was wet as hell. And that was it. So I'm going to bed. It's going to be a longer week this week, 4 days. Hopefully BMW, I sent Adam, my parts guy at Dave Walter, an email asking about that bolt, so we'll see what we hear tomorrow with that. I'll be driving the M5 tomorrow, so if they have that, I'll go down and pick it up, get that done. It might rain on Tuesday, so I want to have the 330 drivable. But that's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow on Monday. Hope you had a good weekend. Good night.